What's up, guys? It is John from Side Hustle Experiment. Today's video, I have my good friend Avery, aka Romer the Roamer. We talk everything about books, online arbitrage. He talks about his journey from selling books to going to online arbitrage, why he decided to make that jump. Talk about automation. We talk about an amazing event that's going to be happening in Miami. I'll be speaking there. So that will be fun. And we just talk about some mistakes he made, how he would get started if he had to do it all over again. Just so much great stuff in here, action packed. Please like, please subscribe. All Avery's stuff is going to be down below. So go give him a follow, consume his content. He's really, really smart, big on automation, and enjoy the video. What's up, guys? I have my good friend Avery, Romer the Roamer here. He's out in the wild, no shirt, kicking it.
That's right, baby.
Those abs. Avery runs a really successful book business. We've met up a couple times. We talk all the time. He just launched a listing software. Congrats to him. He basically filled up all the spots. So that's cool. Runs restrictedinventory.com, does salsa dancing, jujitsu, all kinds of stuff. So welcome to the channel.
Pleasure to be here, man.
Cool
For
deal.
the second time.
Oh yeah, second time. This first video did not record, so we're gonna blow through all the questions right now. So how'd you get started on Amazon?
Yeah, so I sold my first book in college. I had a psychology textbook, and I took a selfie with it, and I posted it on Amazon, and it sold. I can't remember if I did merchant fulfill or not, but I remember at one point I did start learning how to do FBA. And eventually I started selling all my friends' books on consignment, essentially. So I would sell their books. I would pay them a % of the profit. And I think that I was actually paying them more than what Amazon paid me because I just saw the sales price. And I didn't know what Amazon was paying me. So long story short, I basically took a $700 loan from my dad, bought as many books as I could. It got to the point where the loan was like, I was out of money and kids were still bringing books to my dorm room. Like we had this campus app and I would just post, hey, I'm in dorm 405, bring your books. And people would bring all their books. And it got to the point where I was like, literally had like $50 left. And I was like, I can't give you guys any more money. And people are like, just give me whatever you have. And I'm like, $5? And they're like, yeah. And they're giving me like $200 medical textbooks. And so that was pretty cool. And then that summer I basically like graduated college and I was like, I don't know if I want to go to graduate school or not, just because I knew it was going to cost like $60,000 to $100,000 plus for 3 years of graduate school, if not more. Yeah. And I knew it was going to be a big commitment in my life, not only for those 3 years, but also for the 40 years following graduate school of working as a physical therapist. And I would only be making like 60 or maybe if I was really lucky, 80 or 100,000 a year. And I knew I could probably do that on my own. I just felt like I could figure something out. So I started a landscaping business and put decent effort into it and ended up selling it for $4,000, which was pretty cool. Sold like an Excel sheet of all the addresses. It's a one and only business that I've ever sold. So it's my first exit, it's 4,000.
Nice.
And then as I was cutting the yards that summer, I was working hard outside and I would check my phone frequently and I would see that books were selling on Amazon. And I was like, I just cut this yard for $40. I'm splitting it with my friend. We have to take out gas. We have to take out equipment cost. And I had to split this and basically each made $10 for an hour of work. Now, not bad, but then I would open my phone. I'd be like, I just sold this book for $40, $100, whatever. And I kept seeing that as days would go on. I would always check my phone. And I just knew there was something with the product-based business. So I wanted a product-based business, not a service-based business. Now that I've learned more about business, I know there's a lot of opportunity with service-based businesses. But at the time I was like, I got to get out of service-based businesses. I got to get out of trading my time for money. and get my own product selling. So fast forward, I coached wrestling, followed my passion as a millennial. And then I made like $2,000 or something, like if not less, for a lot of hard work, which I loved doing because I was coaching wrestling, my passion. But I was like, man, like the amount of time and energy and effort you put into something does not equate to the amount of money that comes out. Like different tasks, different activities you do yield different financial rewards. And so the only thing that ever really made me money that felt passive was selling books. And so I knew there was this whole community of booksellers, and I read a blog by Caleb Roth, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to do what Caleb did in the blog, and I'm just going to go travel, because he went from Denver, Colorado to Kansas, and he sourced books the whole way. And I think he sold like $5,000 worth of books in one weekend with his wife. And I was like, I'm just going to do that. And I actually went pretty close to where he went. I went from Nashville, Tennessee. I went through Oklahoma. I think that's where he went. Tulsa. Is it Tulsa?
I think so, yeah.
Anyway, somewhere out there. And then the whole way I was just sourcing books from thrift stores, libraries. I would pack all the books up in boxes. I would sleep in Walmart parking lots. I was living in my car for 3 months because my number one priority has always been travel, even when I was broke. And so I was like, I'm just going to travel the world in my car, start with America. And so I went from Nashville, Tennessee, all the way to California. I stopped in California, went to a booksellers conference. That's where I met Caleb in person. I met Reezy Resells. I met a bunch of other people, and I was like, holy shit, like this is real. People are actually doing this. And yeah, I didn't really know what I was doing, but I think I did like 80K sales my first year. And then my second year, I was sourcing books in the Northeast region of the United States, which is a great place to source books. Definitely. And I was with my buddy, Andrew Gong, and we would stop by every Goodwill, every thrift store, every library, like from Portland, Maine, all the way down to Washington, D.C. And that's when I found out that not everybody could sell restricted textbooks. And so Andrew, my buddy who sells books, I think he still does, he was like, oh, this is $100 textbook, but we can't sell it. So let's just leave it on the shelf. And I'm like, dude, what the hell are you doing? Like, I can sell that. And he's like, no, like nobody can sell it. I'm like, yeah, I can sell it. And so then I found out that not everyone could sell certain textbooks. I found out my account was special. So then I launched a service called Restricted Inventory, and everyone started sending me their restricted textbooks. And I think I did like, the most I did was 20,000 in sales before then. I was doing like liquidations. I was going to places closing down, and I got up to 20K in book sales, which was probably close to like 10K profit, maybe 8K, 8K. Yeah, I had like no overhead, no employees. You know, it was a lean operation. But then when I launched Restricted Inventory, I just jumped up to like 80K sales, and I was like, holy shit, this is real. This is legit. And I read the E-Myth, great book, and I found out how to build systems for my business. I systematized the whole thing, and it's been history since that business has been running. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's been really cool. Just like following. One thing I really respect about you is like you just kind of like jump in and just kind of like figure it out. And I just remember watching your stories. It's just like everyone's just going to send me inventory, and there's like pictures of like all these envelopes everywhere. I'm like, what's going on? And then like flash forward now, and it's like you're prepping like tens of thousands of books a month. It's like, damn, like that's awesome that like you kind of figured that out.
Yeah.
So we both recently kind of got into wholesale, or not wholesale, online arbitrage. Do you want to kind of talk about?
Yeah, I'm doing a little wholesale too.
Or wholesale,
yeah. I placed like 3 or 4 orders, nothing crazy.
But what made you get into that?
So really what made me get into it was so I went on a trip with Taylor Jones and a bunch of other people, and like I said last time, it's just like I just saw a bunch of people who really young, and I'm like, these kids are idiots. like just frankly, like, and they're doing like 300K a month. Like I'm watching this kid on a fucking like motorcycle in Costa Rica, just like busting his ass, like literally like falling off. And I'm like, this kid's like a dumbass, and he's doing 300K a month OA. And like so like for me, that was like and just seeing Taylor, you guys know, if you guys know Taylor, just go look at his Instagram. He's crazy. And I'm like, Taylor figured this out. I kind of met Taylor. I met Taylor when he figured it out. Like,
did you meet him like wrestling on a beach or something in Miami?
Yeah, that was the first time we had a little wrestling match. I won. And so, but he was doing RA. So he was going into stores and stuff. And so he moved in with me, saw my lifestyle where I just worked on my computer all day, managing restricted inventory, building systems, stuff like that. And I told him, like, dude, you're doing RA, you should be doing OA. You can just do OA from home. And so he transitioned to OA, and I saw him go from RA to OA. And I looked at his numbers, and I saw him just build this profitable OA business. And so seeing him do it, seeing Tim in Costa Rica, seeing all these other people, young people doing it, I'm like, flips for miles. I saw him come up. I knew him when he didn't do OA. Warner, Fields of Profit. I knew all these guys before they did OA.
Yeah.
And so seeing them just go OA, I'm like, and like make 5, 10, 15,000 profit months. I'm just like, I could do that too. I could figure it out. So I'm not at 15. The most profit I've made in 1 month is 3,000. I'm actually struggling turning profits, and we can talk a little bit about that.
Yeah.
But if I just learn how to do this, it's going to be huge, because people always come to me and ask me, how can I build an Amazon business and travel the world like you do? And I can't look them in the eye and say, do books, because most people aren't going to be able to build a book business the way that I built it. I don't think anybody can, actually. I know Reezy tried, Reezy.biz, shout out Reezy.biz. It ain't around anymore. like there was 3 other services that popped up to mimic restricted inventory. Anybody can build a book business and travel the world if they want to. But it's probably going to take a solid 2-3 years to build all the systems and get it profitable and remove yourself from it. But anybody can do OA from anywhere. And if you're smart about it, you can turn a profit in your first few months.
Yeah, no, I
That's
think
the difference between books and OA.
Yeah, because or do you remember, like I was saying, you going back, like there were a couple of years where you like really struggling to kind of get off the ground, like just like BS,
like
like
any
happens
business. Like I'm
all
going
the
through that with
time
OA right now. It's the same exact thing with OA. Like I'm learning these hard lessons again, different lessons, but I'm going through the same growing pains, you know?
Yeah, no, and it's definitely very, I guess, different. I thought it'd be like, oh, like you sell books, now you're just gonna do OA. Like it's a simple, clean break. Like you're just gonna source different stuff, and it hasn't really been that way for me anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you want to talk about kind of what you're struggling with OA and like kind of
Yeah. So I think I was just a little bit impatient with OA, and so I wanted to spend 30,000 and have that 30,000 come back to me in 30 days, 40 days, because that's what everyone was saying. And so I programmed all my pricing rules to sell my stuff fast. If it didn't sell within 30 days of being active on Amazon, we basically would force a sale. We would drop the price. But now what we're doing is we're raising our minimum prices. And I think that's just going to be huge. I think raising the minimum prices, especially with Q4 right around the corner. Shout out to that video you just posted. That was really good. A lot of people were actually saying this, like, be patient. I think it was Cajun Ventures was saying this, like, be patient, wait for the sale.
Yeah.
So now what we're doing, or what I'm doing, I say we because, like, I have VAs and an American assistant that help me out. What we're doing now is we're just waiting on the sale to happen. So even like items that I have hundreds of items in stock, we're not going to drop to a break-even price. We're going to only accept 20% ROI until 90 days have passed. And if 90 days pass, we're still probably going to wait another 90. But if I really want the money back, I could fire sell at that point. So I've already noticed. I mean, of course I'm going to notice this, but my profit's going up. Like I have a profit spreadsheet and I look at it like every day, and the profit's just going up. Well, of course it's going up because I'm not selling anything at a loss anymore.
Yeah.
So I think that's the second biggest mistake I made. I think the biggest mistake I made was slow prep and using crappy prep centers. And that held me back like 2 months, because you don't
I watch
learn.
Tiger Lily.
Right. You don't learn.
Garbage.
You don't learn until the item sells. So you can buy an item and you can look at the Keepa, you can listen to all these people online, but you don't learn until the item sells. And so all that time elapsed in between you buying the item and the item selling is lengthening your learning curve, which is bad. So in order to shorten your learning curve, prep the item as quickly as possible, get it active, and get the sale.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point. And yeah, I feel like I've noticed that too. Like when I first started doing OA, it was like, oh man, I want to sell through this stuff as quick as possible. Everyone else is like churning in like 30 days. Like, why am I? And I just keep lowering the price and like break even on some, like do okay on others. But now I'm definitely a lot more patient. And you could definitely see like, even if the stock count's not going down, like in some cases, not all cases, the buy box eventually rotates to you. Maybe not as much as the lower price, but like you will get it. And eventually, hopefully that lower price guy goes out or just runs out of stock.
Right.
And
Exactly.
definitely.
Yeah, the prices go up and down all the time.
Yeah, no, definitely. What do you think is one of the biggest maybe things you were going into OA thinking that wasn't really true after you kind of got your hands dirty?
Yeah, the money coming back faster. I definitely thought the money would come back faster, which I'm sure it can, if you buy good items, but you're going to buy bad items because you're just starting out, And there's also a trade-off between ROI and sell-through time. There can be a trade-off. And so, a lot of times higher ROI items aren't going to sell as fast as you want them to. So be patient and don't spend more money than you have. That's a good piece of advice for any business,
Yeah. Yeah, that almost seems to be the new like Amazon business model, which is totally different from when I started anyway. It's like just go grab a plum card and like just start swiping and like the best kind of thing.
Right.
If you don't know what you're doing, that's not a great model.
Yeah.
To emulate. What would you say to someone who's selling books right now? Maybe they're doing like 2 or 3K. They're just getting started learning Amazon. Would you still suggest people like kind of build a book business, or you think they should try to get into OA as quick as possible?
Depends. It really there's so many different scenarios. Like if you have a good bulk source and you're making money with your book business, like systematize that. And maybe supplement OA, on the side. But if you're like really struggling to find books, or maybe you're finding good books, but it's a lot of work to go out and find them, then maybe learn OA. If you have a few $1,000s, you can grow that pretty fast. Just be patient. And I wouldn't even focus on making money at the beginning. I would just focus on not screwing yourself. So just focus on learning. Take that few $1,000s and focus on learning all the processes. And then 3-4 months in, once you see positive returns on your money, really amp it up. And yeah, the thing I love about OA versus books is you can do it from anywhere,
Yeah, I mean, that's a huge advantage. And I do think a lot of people, I think a lot of people do start books with like $2,000 or $3,000 kind of anyway. They have like 1,000 or 2. And it's definitely interesting to kind of see the OA. And when I first started the OA, I was having a lot of trouble finding stuff. And it wasn't really until I'm like, you know what? I don't even care. Like, I'll do 10%, I'll do 5%. And like, this is not a good business model, like long term. I just wanted to get started, see if stuff sold. Like, does this work?
Mm-hmm.
As long as I would get like recoup my money, I was like, okay, that's fine. And that really like built a lot of momentum for me. Just like, okay, like, can I find better stuff now? Like, okay, now can I do better now? And that was just like super helpful for me just to prove that concept.
Yeah. Right.
You want to talk about a little bit, because I think for both of us, Miami 2021, right? 22. Well, both of them. I think that really opened up our eyes to like OA.
Yeah, for me it was more 2022.
Yeah,
because 2021 I was still like 2021, I was doing chlorine that summer.
Mm,
And so
right.
I made like 30K that summer selling items other than books. And that was pretty cool. But I was doing it more as like I don't know. I was just chasing shiny, you know? But this last year, just seeing Scott Needham do like 46 million or however much he did, seeing Amazon Lit come back every single year, but really seeing like the younger kids, have success. I'm like, dang, these guys are hustling, you know?
Yeah, no, that's definitely what got me going. Yeah, it was just that was kind of the stepping point for me where I'm just like, you know what? All these people are doing this and they're like half my age. I'm just like, you know what? I could do this too. And yeah, I think one of my biggest book months ever was like 50K. And it took me like 2 or 3 years like to kind of get to that in like a January.
Mm-hmm.
And like this
You're
month,
seeing like some 14-year-old on Instagram doing
yeah,
70K a month with his mom's credit card.
yeah, this month alone, I'll probably do close to 50 just in OA. And it's like,
Yeah.
wow, that was so much easier. Obviously, the profit's a little different on that, but
Yeah. Like I did
the amount of
50K.
work I
I
put
think
into that
I did
isn't as
60K
much.
in August, but I don't even like to say I did 60K in August in OA just because I made 3K profit.
Yeah, that's what
I,
happened. Yeah, I
I
bet some of
probably
those
made
months.
4K profit if you include my credit card rewards points, but I'm still figuring this out, But I mean, the fact that I'm able to get that money back, I mean, the money does come back fast. Like it
Yeah,
does, but it's not like plan for, like, what my point is, like, don't fire sell your items just to get your money back. Like, be patient. The price is going to go back up.
yeah, no, I think that's a great point. And we both probably sell a lot of apparel, and this month I really experimented with. I don't think I've actually spent any money on apparel. It's been really hard to. I wanted to spend like 40 grand. I think I'm only at like 20 just because like not buying apparel, like apparel items you spend like 30, $40 on. It's really easy to rack up to 40. But I've been kind of focusing on like a little bit small light and grocery and things that just can't get returned. And that's really, really helped like that profit like creep up. And even like using some stores give out a lot of rewards. And instead of doubling down on apparel, taking that money and like buying something else at the store that can't be returned or is just probably not likely to get returned.
Mm-hmm.
And that has like really, really
Yeah. Yeah. I think
offset.
that's something that's not really talked about too much that should be, is like apparel it screws your cash flow up because, yeah, you sell a lot, but then all these returns come in. So the money gets sucked back out until it sells again.
Yeah, and that also just complicates the process and tracking. And then the customer could just say, "Oh yeah, we're going to return it," and they don't drop it off for 2 weeks, or it comes back and they rip the tags off, and then you can't use it. So yeah, I definitely think that's something that might need to be talked about a little more when it comes to like selling apparel and stuff.
Right.
If you could only pick one, would you do OA or would you keep restricted inventory and books? Or it could be OA wholesale mix if you wanted to say that.
The reason why I like OA and wholesale is like other products are such like other products by definition is everything other than books. Books is just books on Amazon, but other products is like everything. Like if I learn online arbitrage, I can flip anything. If I learn wholesale and how to set up relationships and buy in bulk and buy at discounted prices, I can not only buy beauty products, I can buy apparel, I can buy kitchen, I can buy like so many different types of products, And so that's really why I'm interested. So I guess my answer would be OA. And, I like what I've built with restricted inventory because it's a business that completely runs on its own and it's actually growing. It's been growing itself the last few months and I haven't really been doing anything. And I want to have that same type of experience with every business that I build. And I will admit, it is hard, especially with an OA business. It's hard to to have that. The thing about OA that's different than like a book business, OA and wholesale, is it's extremely cash intensive. Yeah. And so for you to scale, you have to spend more. And other businesses, to grow, you need to market more, And so I feel like that's a major difference. And so being patient, getting good at choosing the right products, and just having that momentum with your cash coming back to you is exciting. But it's also like, it's just a very different business, because you can always have your bank account at zero if you want it to be, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah, that is.
So, I want to get to the point where it grows itself and it exponentially takes off. Kind of like, wouldn't say restricted inventory's growth has been exponential, but it's been consistent, and it's been autonomous. And that's what I want with every business. So, and that's why I'm adding wholesale to it too. Because Scott Needham, for example, he's able to run a list of all of his products that sold for a profit and automatically place orders.
Yeah.
Like, I want to get to that point where I just run a list of all my items that have sold for a profit, and the software automatically places orders with different suppliers.
Yeah, I was actually listening to the Buy Box Bandits podcast. Shout out to Miles, Garrett, and Danny. And they had Scott on, and they're like, "Oh, like, how do you decide like how much to buy and when to buy?" He's like, "Oh, like an algorithm just like decides it." I'm like, "Wow, like that's crazy." Like, definitely want to get to like that level.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about Miami 2023? Kind of get people excited for that.
Yeah. I was just writing the sales copy for that page. I was writing all the speakers that are going to be there. So it's going to be a lot of people. Warner Fields of Profit, Amazon Lit, John Side Hustle Experiment.
Sure.
We're going to have Books and Bourbon, Caleb Roth, Matthew Osborne, David Chong. We're going to have Buy Box Bandits, so Flips for Miles, Garrett, Danny. We're having a lot of people this year. Trevin Peterson. Yeah, that's it. And actually, Chris Grant is coming too. I just invited him.
Awesome.
Yeah, Chris Grant will be there.
Grant.
So tickets aren't cheap, but if you're watching this video now, tickets may be available at MiamiSellersConference.com. I'll probably launch it in the next few days. And we are doing a little bit of an early bird discount. If you did go last year, shoot me a DM on Instagram and I'll hook you up with a even better price. So everyone that went last year will get a little bit more of a discount. So hit me up. But yeah, it's going to be in Miami, obviously. And I'm still planning out some stuff, but we're going to have a lot of fun. And day 2 is likely going to be on the water.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I would say a lot. Like, I know Avery's got a lot, but so have I. Like, just go to networking events. I mean, it's just, you just don't understand. Like, yeah, you're going through DMs and stuff like that, but like once you like meet someone, you're like, it's just a different experience, and it's like just someone you could like count on to help you out. Or like, I just launched like a video for Q4, and like it was just so much easier to reach out to everyone because they're like, we met or whatever. It's like, yo, can you like make a video? They're like, oh yeah, of course, like whatever. And just like the stuff, like anything else, it's like almost closed door stuff. Like, you don't hear this stuff on YouTube, and not a lot of it. You just get like such insight, especially once the alcohol gets flowing or whatever, people start talking about all sorts of stuff that like you never thought. Which could lead to a lot of insight. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. Looking forward to speaking there, and yeah, whoever, I highly recommend going. I think this year it's going to be like a solid, like, there's definitely some alum that's been there probably going like all 3 years, which makes it really nice. Like, hey,
it's gonna be cool.
Like, very homey feeling.
Yep. That's kind of like the idea behind this is like, people that work jobs are able to have, what is it called? Water cooler talk.
Yeah, water cooler conversations.
Yeah. And we don't really have that if you're an Amazon seller. And so giving people the opportunity, not only to talk with their friends, but also show their friends how well they're doing, or maybe they're struggling. Maybe who knows what the situation is, but it's an opportunity for everyone to come together and talk about what happened over the past year.
Yeah, and I think that too. It's like it's one of the events. I feel like sometimes on Instagram, when people post screenshots or sales, it almost feels like, oh, like I'm so far away. But like in like a setting like Miami Sellers Conference, like it's inspiring. Like, damn,
Yes.
like I could do that. Like everyone there is like they're there because they're doing something, or like they're kind of struggling and about to be like doing something big. And I don't know if they're doing it again, but like last year they were doing like hot seats, and people could just go up there and be like, this is what I'm struggling with.
Yeah, basically like, yeah, so we're not going to do we charged for hot seats last year. We'll do hot seats again this year, but it's going to be different. It's more going to be like Q&A,
Nice.
where people just come up and ask questions. And so, yeah, we'll have lots of panels, more networking time, after party again, day 2 again. It's going to probably be on the water. So yeah, working it out.
Yeah, no, it's going to be awesome. Last question. If you had to start all over again today, you really weren't Romer the Romer, you didn't really have a network, you only had about $1,000. How would you get back to where you are?
Damn, you asked me this question last time, and
Yeah.
I'm thinking about the question again, and hopefully I give the same answer. Yeah, that's I mean, if I knew everything I knew now and I went back in time, just depends, man. It's like there's so many different directions. I definitely would post more aggressively on social media.
Yeah.
I definitely would network harder from day one. That's definitely something. And I did, post a lot on social media, but I would post even more. I would document more, and I would focus on building a real business from day one. Like I would focus on, from day one, at least have in the back of my head, how can I eventually systematize this? Because I didn't have that thought process until like 1 year into business was when I started thinking, oh shit, like I don't have a business, I have a job. How can I make this into something that I could walk away from and it could still operate in my absence? So with $1,000, the smart thing to do would just buy a bunch of books. Yeah, again,
Yeah.
$1 a piece, $2 a piece, spend it all on books, and pretty soon you'll have so much money coming back from that you can't spend any more on books. But I think I would, if I started over, like get connected with an OA community and learn how to scale that. But definitely focus on personal brand, and learn. I would focus on learning something that would allow me to travel abroad earlier. So private label, wholesale, or OA, one of those things.
Nice. Yeah, that's kind of what I think, like too, like how to start all over. I would definitely probably spend that $1,000 within like a week. I feel like sometimes like when you first start something, like if you knew that it worked, like you'd spend the $1,000 as quick as you possibly could.
Yeah.
And while I'm like waiting for all those books to sell, learn OA and like let the money come back, and then maybe do another round or 2 of books, and then kind of test the waters with OA.
Yeah.
Let's see how that goes. Well, thanks so much for being here. It was great. Where can people find you?
Romer the Romer, everywhere. YouTube, TikTok, Instagram.
Sweet. Well,
I'm all over the place.
Again, guys. Thanks for being here. Go
100%.
follow Avery. I don't know if he has a link ready for the seller conference. I'll drop it below.
It's MiamiSellersConference.com. Like, you guys can go there, check it out. It may still be in test mode, or it may be live. If it's live, it'll just look normal. If it's in test mode, it'll just have like a strip at the top that says test mode. So if it's live, you can buy tickets.
Cool. All right.
Sweet.
Thanks a lot, Avery.
Yep. Peace out.
Peace. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. Please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. It would mean a lot to me. And check out the free resources below for you guys. And I will see you guys in the next video. All right, cool, man.
When are you gonna post that?
When do you want it? You have a certain day you want it?
No, but yeah, if just check to see if it's live. If it's live, put the link in the chat. Miami
That'll
Sellers
be like
Conference.
next Friday.
Okay, it'll probably be up by then.
Yeah, the VA is making like all these reels for the Q4 video, so he's busy.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that'll be good.
Yeah, I'm excited. All right, man.
Sweet.
Day.
Yep. Let me know if you want to shoot it again.
All right, peace out.
All right, I see.
What's up, guys? In today's video, I have Romer, the Romer, aka Avery, on the channel today. We talk about how he was able to start selling books on. Scrap that whole intro. I don't like that.